final picks episode for UFC Rio going down tomorrow. I have my final picks, my bets, top 5 favorite picks of the card, and then I have one favorite underdog for this card, all in this video right here. Let's get into it right now. And I will say, I had to wait out this fight week to see how the people weighed in, how they looked on the scale, and it really did switch my picks around from Tuesday. So I do have some switch picks, but let's all get into it right now. All right, man. So for this fight, for the first fight, Luana Lacerda, Simon Oliveira. Oliveira missed weight by 8 pounds. Not too big of that. I wasn't even big on him as a fighter. So to add the weight miss on top of that, I'm not a fan of it. I've never been a big fan of Oliveira as well. I don't think he is UFC ready. I'm taking Luana Lacerda, and it's pretty straightforward. Even though both fighters are not really that good, give me Luana Lacerda. I'm confident in it, especially after today's weight miss. So I'm staying with my pick from Tuesday, Lacerda. Next fight with the women's fight, I'm staying with Julia Palastri here, going against a way older fighter, and Carolina's reflexes are pretty much gone. I think she's going to be too fast on the feet for Carolina. I think if this fight gets to the ground, if this fight gets in the clinch, Palastri might just piece up Carolina. Not liking it for her. I'm going to stay with Palastri here. Let's go. Let's move forward. Next fight, we have Lucas Rocha versus Stuart Nickel. I'm gonna stay with Stuart Nickel, man. I'm gonna go with the underdog here. Both look good on scale. I love the aura of Lucas Rocha in Brazil, but it's the wrestling defense from Rocha that I don't like. So I'm gonna stay with Nickel. I like the wrestling. I like the grappling from his side. There might be a finish there, but I'm gonna stay right there. I'm gonna stay with Nickel, underdog number 1. Next fight, we have Bia Mosqueda versus Irina Alskivov. So I picked Alskivov on Tuesday just based off of what I saw from the film of Bia's striking. Striking looked terrible. Now she is a very, very fantastic grappler. And if this fight gets wrapped up or put on the ground, and there's a grappling involved in this fight, Mosqueda may just wrap it up and get Alskivov out of there by a submission. But this fight does start with striking. It does start on the feet, and Irina may just throw some shit in the wind, and it may connect. So Bia was a bit more. She looked a lot thicker and a lot bigger than 5'4", what they have listed here. So she looked bigger. The weight, the height difference wasn't too big. It didn't look like on the scales when they faced off today. So I'm gonna go with Bia, and I'm switching this because again they looked a lot similar in height. Bia is very thick, and it still haunts me that I'm picking a UFC debut fighter who's only pretty much a one-dimensional fighter. I'm terrified. Anyways, I'm gonna go with Bia. So that's a pick switch for me. I'm gonna go with Bia Mosqueda. Next fight, we have Victor Petrino, Thomas Peterson. I'm going to stay with Victor Petrino. He looked good on the scales today. Thomas Peterson looked like he lost weight as well. But I just Peterson doesn't wrestle enough for me. If he does decide to wrestle heavy in this fight, I think it could be a big trouble for Victor Petrino's cardio. Thomas Peterson being a really kind of thick heavyweight here. I think making Petrino wear his weight could just damage that cardio and that fatigue. He could fatigue pretty quickly here. So, but anything else other than that, I give Victor Petrino the nod here. Better hands, striking, more fluid. I think he has a bit more power in his hands. Thomas Peterson loves to stand and trade. And I think that could just be a big mistake to trade with Victor Petrino. So give me Victor Petrino. I'm staying on that pick from Tuesday. Next fight, we have Jafel Filho versus Clayton Carpenter. One of my favorite fights of the card, man. I'm going to stay with the Preacher Man, I'm gonna go Phil Ho. I think he can just do some great work against the cage, get Clayton against the cage, hit some sweeps, some trips. And I think Phil Ho on top and guard in the grappling, I think it's going to be a lot for Clayton Carpenter to get off his back. So I have Phil Ho with a pretty um, heavy grappling game here. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go Phil Ho kind of racking up control time on the ground with grappling and stuff like that. So give me the preacher man. I love Clayton Carpenter though. I'll be happy whoever wins this fight, but my pick is going to be with the underdog, Jafel Filio. Next fight, we have Lucas Almeida versus Michael Aswell. Now, on Tuesday, my pick was Lucas Almeida. We get to the scales today. We get to the face off, the ceremonial weigh ins, and it looks like Lucas Almeida, his hand was like swollen. In one hand, he was clenching like a necklace, maybe, and then on his other hand was swollen. It looked really fat, and I could probably tell that it was because he didn't move it at all. He kept it by his side. He didn't move it. He didn't even fist bump with it. Like it just stayed by his side, open hand. He didn't really close it up or anything like that. And this hand that was clenching a necklace or something, it was really clenched, pretty tense. So it had me think, I'm like, his hand looks broken or something's wrong with it. And at a big underdog already, and the line kind of is widening as we speak. I can't do it, man. Aswell's gonna have the output, the volume. He's not gonna have the pop and the shots. That's where Almeida has, but with the damage hand, he's down one hand against Michael Aswell, who can just put up a ton of volume on you. So I'm gonna take Aswell here. I'm gonna do a little pick flip here. I'm gonna go to the favorite. I'm gonna go Michael Aswell to win by decision, and Michael Aswell with a full camp. I love that for him. You know, coming off his last fight against Oki, he stepped in on short notice, put up a good effort. I love Michael Aswell with a full camp. Give me Aswell with the pick flip. In the main card, kicking off, we have Ricardo Ramos versus Con Ofli. Give me Ricardo Ramos to win this fight. I haven't been a big fan of either of these guys in the UFC, but Ricardo Ramos is a lot more athletic, has a lot more tools to win this fight. Hopefully, only has wrestling to win this fight. I think wrestling and control time and guard is the only way Conor is going to win this fight. I think Ricardo Ramos just has the tools. He needs to put it all together, and he needs to just be confident in his tools that he has. I think he can make Conor not shoot in as much, just with the striking tools that he has. So, give me Ricardo Ramos to win. I'm staying put with that pick. In the heavyweight division, we have Jonata Denise versus Mario Pinto. I'm staying with the Pinto side. I picked Pinto on Tuesday. I'm staying with Pinto today. I know people are kind of getting at Pinto about his last performance and getting put down, knocked down by Lane in his last fight, and it kind of took the coach's strong words in the corner after the first round to kind of get him back in this fight and wake up and shake off the jitters of your UFC debut because maybe it was getting to him. But to see him come out so more aggressive and kind of open his hands up and open everything up, it tells me that he listens to his coaches. Um, the confidence that he may have coming off the knockout like that, I think it's only going to play a bigger part in this fight. Now, I love that Pinto is going to be quicker. I think he's a bit more accurate than Denise. Now, Jonata Denise is a good kickboxer, but I'm gonna just take the power and the accuracy of Pinto in this fight. I'm gonna stay with the underdog here. Next fight, we have Vicente Luque versus Joel Alvarez. Alvarez looked fantastic, filling out at welterweight on the scale. I'm gonna stay with Joel Alvarez. In the co-main event, we have Davidson Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson. I'm staying with the underdog on this fight. I picked the underdog on Tuesday. I'm staying with Figgy. Now, what worried me on Tuesday when I did this breakdown with Drew, how did Figgy look walking around with his knee and his leg, coming off the injury in his last fight against Corey Sandhagen, which was a few months ago. Figgy looked like he was moving okay. He was being, on the open workouts on the mat. He looked like he was fine, picking up his coaches and stuff like that. And so I really do think Figgy is here. I don't like the body language of a Montel Jackson on the face off. I'm no body doctor or whatever, but like I don't know, man. Just kind of give me some like timid vibes, and maybe fighting in Rio may be too bright. The lights may be too bright for Montel Jackson. This is a big step up in competition for Montel Jackson. He has the tools to put it all together. He has the tools, and if he wants to put it all together, I think he can get Figgy out of here. But I love Figgy's grappling offense and the wrestling that he's been going towards as he moved up a weight class. He moved from flyweight to bantamweight, and we're seeing Figgy kind of grapple and wrestle a little bit more. I love it for this fight. I think Montel Jackson's going to look for that one punch knockout to get Figgy out of there, but I think it's going to be tough to put Figgy away, man. I think this is a big spot for Montel Jackson to prove himself that he is worthy enough to be mentioned in the top of this division. And this is a big. I have to see it to believe it for me as for Montel Jackson. So I'm gonna take the veteran. I'm gonna take the OG. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Figgy at a big underdog price. I think he's just gonna use his grappling to control Montel Jackson, and yeah. And in the main event, I'm taking Du Bronx. I'm staying with Du Bronx. I love the aura. I love everything that Du Bronx has going for him. He's looking rejuvenated in Rio. I think he finds a finish here against Mateus Gamrot, who has been rocked a lot. And I can say the same thing for Charles. Okay. But it's the KO power that Oliveira has mixed with the grappling. We could be looking at um, you know, a knockdown and maybe scrambling for a to lock up a limb or something and snatch up the neck from it, Oliveira. There's just so many ways I think Oliveira can get this done. I think Gamrot has to do a lot to drain the the energy of Charles Oliveira against the cage and the wrestling and controlling uh the grappling on guard. I don't think Mateus Gamrot is good at staying on top when they're on the ground. I think he loses position a lot. And I think that just makes a little bit more of an argument for Charles Oliveira to get back to his feet and get this fight back to up to the feet. So give me Charles Oliveira to win, man. So let me just get this removed. Let's do this. And now I am going to give my 5 confident picks for UFC Rio. 5 confident picks are Ricardo Ramos, Victor Petrino, Joel Alvarez, Michael Aswell, and Polastri. That's my top 5 favorite confident picks for the card. And if you were to put that all in a parlay, it's going to be plus 313. Now, there are some big favorites that I have for the confident picks, but I think as well as money line right now, kind of makes it a little bit better. Not too much, but the lines are widening for as well. So he's kind of becoming a little bit of a bigger favorite. So you guys might want to jump on that as soon as possible. And my favorite underdog for this card, I'm gonna go with Phil Ho. It's either Phil Ho or Figgy are my favorite underdogs for this card. If you want a bigger underdog, you're gonna, of course, gonna have to take Figgy. On my sports book, I have it at plus 260. On my sports book, Phil Ho is a plus 100, so almost even money line there. I'm gonna take Phil Ho as my favorite underdog though. And then 6 bets that I have placed for this card. I have Rocha versus Nickel under 2.5 rounds at minus 180. Victor Petrino by TKO, KO, DQ plus 125. I have Jafel Fieldhove by submission plus 400. And then I have Fieldhove versus Carpenter under 2.5 rounds plus 135. Next bet I do have is Mario Pinto by TKO, KO plus 300. I do have a Figgy money line bet, and my last bet is Charles Oliveira TKO KO plus 350. Those are my picks, bets, 5 confident picks, and my 1 favorite underdog for UFC Rio going down tomorrow. We will just check back in the next time I record and see how we did, man. Hopefully you guys do good for your bets and your picks for tomorrow. Please stay safe out there and just enjoy tomorrow's fights, man. Do Bronx.